Welcome back. Well, this is part 3 of my brick oven building video series. Now, today was more of an organizational day than anything else. I got this tent up so I can work underneath the sun without frying. Of course, I gotta be careful not to get too high because it's very hot up inside that cover. But I also took the band, the retention band off the refractory castable and the insulation, and unpacked the tiles, these intricately cut tiles that make up the base of the oven. Now, I don't want to sound picky, but I do have a lot of comments, wonderful comments from different people that have been excited to see this thing start up, and I think they want to see this whole process to completion, as I have wanted to see it for at least 3.5 years or more. This has been a dream to me to be able to get one of these things together. And but this is a legacy oven. This is not a cob oven. Now, some of you have written in and said that you want to build a cob oven. Cob ovens are great. They're something that have been around for centuries, thousands of years. They can be built, really, you can build them out of thatch and mud and dry it. You can build it out of, old used bricks. You can build it out of almost anything. You can take any scrap materials that you have and make a housing and put food in it and bake it and cook it. A brick oven, and also too, a cob oven can be made of bricks, but a brick oven per se is something which is by its very nature a heat bank. It's designed to retain heat over time. Look at what I have underneath here. Remember in the first video, I installed this insulation material in the bottom. That's that calcium silicate board. It was 2 inches thick. It's an insulation material. Think about your Yeti coolers. You buy a Yeti cooler, it's very expensive, and it's got thick insulation material, and it retains cold. Now, I don't know how it knows the difference between hot and cold, but it retains it, whatever it has. So, anyway, that insulating material is not only isolating the heat from the concrete, which is below it, but it's also doing the very same thing as the Yeti cooler does, which is to retain that thermal temperature inside the oven. And that refractory castable, that's also part of the component. A refractory castable, that material is a heat bank. It's a type of thermal material that retains heat energy. So between those two substances right there, combined with the thick tile bricks on top, and these are refractory bricks. These bricks are designed. I mean, all bricks can be heated up to extreme temperatures. And they can be cooled down. The difference between a regular brick and a refractory brick is that it resists heat shock. In other words, the temperature can elevate very, very quickly. You can build a big roaring fire inside, a big bonfire inside that, and then it can cool it down very quickly when you remove all the ash and it let it burn down. So it will not spall. Regular bricks, if they go through that heat and cold cycle too quickly, they begin to spall, which is the flaking off of the surface material of the brick. So anyway, this is specifically made for ovens, or for boilers or anything like that, which requires great heat development and retention. So around the dome, it's also going to have a very thick thermal blanket, 2 layers of thermal blanket underneath mortar, which is designed to help retain, and that's also too, you got 4 inches thick of bricks. All that combined is designed to allow heat to be built up in very high temperatures, much higher than a cob oven would ever be able to reach. This oven can reach temperatures of up to 1,000 degrees or more. And not only that, but in that spike is where you cook your pizzas. And some other forms of flatbreads and things like that. That's where you reach your apex of your heat. You do all your pizza cooking, and if you just let the flame die out and relax, 4 days later you can still cook in this. You can still bake bread. That's how thermally efficient these devices are. So they're very well thought out. This is exactly the same sort of oven that you'll find in an expensive pizzeria or in a restaurant or anything like that. The only difference is the size. This also comes in. This is the D105, which designates the number of centimeters wide. It's about 44 inches wide on the inside. But the D130 is a commercial version of it, which is 130 centimeters wide. And it's also designed so that the interior bricks may be removed when they basically age and are getting worn out from the years of shoveling pizzas and moving pizzas around inside with an aluminum peel. So no family in their entire lifetime is ever going to subject this sort of oven to that sort of stress. But again, to me, this is a legacy oven. This is going to be something that it's not only handsome, it's going to add to the value of the home tremendously. It's going to be, there's a 7-inch flue that's going to be going right up through the roof. And it's going to be a Class A 3-wall construction flue with a thermal blanket inside, so that can be actually kept within 2 inches of any combustible materials as it goes up through the trusses. So it's a very sophisticated design. I just wanted to explain the difference between a cob oven, which is a terrific thing. You can build a cob oven literally. I've seen them built on YouTube for in 30 40 minutes. I mean, you can put together a cob oven pretty simply by just stacking bricks and doing things, and you can get pretty sophisticated with them. But this is designed as a heat bank to retain heat very efficiently and to insulate it and isolate it from the exterior. So in other words, I don't have to worry about this oven being in proximity to wood or combustible materials. It's going to be fascinating to build. These things are super heavy. These brick tiles are very, very heavy, and so I put them in place. I'll show you a little bit up close what they are, but I wanted to get them just to test fit to make sure everything fit the way it was supposed to. And then I'm going to put down 3/8 of an inch. It's just around 3/8 of an inch of, and again, that's a special mortar. It's a refractory mortar. There are two types of refractory mortars. I'm learning about this every day, diving into this as I build it. There are two types of refractory mortars. There's the air-cured refractory mortar is what's going to go underneath this base. The reason for that is because the mortar has to set up and be durable enough for me to build the dome and the doorway right directly on top of these tiles. Heat-cured refractory mortars are going to be, that type of mortar is going to be used for the dome, and that will allow me to work with that mortar without ceasing, and I can put the bucket of mortar aside and it won't set up on me. It requires heat in order to set, so I can set the bucket of mortar aside until the next day and whip it up and continue to use it. The mortar that I'm going to be using beneath this tile is a very rapid setting. It sets, according to the instructions, you've got to make sure you can use it within 20 minutes because it starts setting as soon as the air hits it. So, and it's basically, it's a refractory type of mortar that's mixed with the other standard components, mixed with clean washed sand, Portland cement, and lime. So those are the same basic components that you use when you're building a house or a barn with bricks. That's the sort of construction. It's just a difference in the type of mortar material, the base material. So that's it. I think it's looking fantastic. Let me show you a little bit closer. But I'm extremely impressed about the workmanship that goes into this particular oven kit. I mean, every one of these tiles are precisely the same thickness. They arrive with no chips, and even if there are some, if a brick should get chipped on the corner, in this case here, it's going to be underneath the other mortar, under other bricks. But you can generally hide one of those chips by flipping the brick upside down. But as you can see, this is superbly engineered. All those cuts, all those circular cuts were done at the factory. And this particular tile is a separate one. This one here has a hole in the middle. And the hole in the middle is, I'll show you when we get to that particular video, when we start building the dome, what that hole is all about. So there you have it. That's it for today. Tomorrow's the 4th of July, and I'm super happy and proud of America right now. We've done some pretty good things in the last few hours. So I'm very, very happy. This oven's going to get built after the 4th of July. I'm going to take the day off and enjoy it with my family. And I think my wife just came home with 4 lobsters and some clams that I can shuck and slurp down. So it's going to be a great day. But anyway, thank you for watching. For all my Patreon donors and assistants, I thank you so much. It's been very, very helpful during these times. And to help me get this thing going, just to give me that inspiration so that I can keep on going with this project and get it done. My daughter is super happy to be helping me with this, and I'm glad she wasn't around here today because it would have been boring to her. I was just lugging bricks, with my wife going around the house from the garage lugging bricks around. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. God bless.